Erev Tov, Ramah, Galim. We hope you all had a wonderful day today with your Eidah activities. And we are delighted to bring you another session of Harga'ah. And I am very happy to introduce Danny Rose from Nachshonim Alpine B'Chasre, Nachshonim 2019. And he's going to get things started for us. Take it away, Danny.
Hi, Machane Ramah Galim. I'm Danny Rose. I'm part of Nachshonim. And for my mentor, I brought Rabbi Corey Helfand, and he's my rabbi at Peninsula Sinai Congregation in Foster City. And for this Hargah, we'll be starting off with an activity. And actually, Avram and Rabbi Sarah are going to participate along with me and Rabbi Corey. And actually, you can participate at home. So please take this time to get pen and paper and maybe try to grab a family member or two, because this is one sentence stories. It's one of my favorite activities in Hargaot that we've done in camp. And I'm trying to recreate this over Hargah virtually. So I'll share my screen so you can see the prompts. So I wrote 4 prompts, and we're going to be answering and writing one sentence stories about these. So I'll read through the prompts to begin. The first prompt is what Rabbi Sarah really thinks about the campers. The second is one night in Beit Bogrim. The third is a Marcy story we don't often hear. And the fourth is why Sololim counselors are so tired. So in this activity, we're going to be writing funny stories, one sentence at a time. So I'm going to be starting off, Rabbi Sarah's going to be starting off on the first prompt, and she's going to add one sentence to the story. And then after 30 seconds, I'm going to give you a go ahead, and we're going to switch and move to the next prompt. And then Rabbi Sarah will write the second sentence for this prompt, one night in Beit Bogrim. And we'll go to the third and the fourth, and we'll do that 2 times through. So once we finish that, we'll each of Rabbi Sarah, Avram, and Rabbi Corey will read the full story. And hopefully you guys will have your own story by then too with your family, or you can even do it by yourself with multiple prompts. So yeah, so please choose your prompts. Again, they're what Rabbi Sarah really thinks about the campers, one night in Beit Bogrim, a Marcy story we don't often hear, why Sololim counselors are so tired. Okay. So we're going to start soon. So if you have your family members and your pen and paper ready, we're going to start writing one sentence stories. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Oops.
Story.
Okay, switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. and switch. Okay, and stop. So we finished the stories. I hope you guys had fun writing your stories too. And so now we're all gonna read our own stories out loud. So we'll start off with Rabbi Sarah.
What Rabbi Sarah really thinks about the campers. Wow, these campers are so smart and creative and enthusiastic and so smelly. I'm so happy we get to be in the ocean so much. I hope that everyone remembers to wear their sunscreen. We can't have any sunburned campers in our promo materials. Wow, did I really just say that out loud? I think I've been out in the sun too long or up too late. Sometimes this sun exposure, shemesh exposure, makes me hallucinate, dreaming of a Shabbat service where campers pay attention. Oh, I'll go get the Galgal Shel Torah, Rabbi Sarah said. But wait, where did it go? Maybe I should go check room 132. Don't worry, that'll come back in later. Wait, is that Marcy playing Galgal Shel Torah down at Batoch Hayam with the dolphins? That's a really interesting kushia, difficulty, kushia to understand. I wish we had a camp full of Marcy's, and that would probably make the camp become completely covered in fresh seaweed tefillin and Scandinavian swimmers. Okay, let's do it.
True story. True story.
Of course, no lies in this activity. All right, so I'll read my story now, which is One Night in Beit Bogrim. One day at Ramah Galim, the Bogrimers ran as fast as they could back to Beit Bogrim. There was a very loud sound coming from the top bunk way in the back. What could that sound be? It sounded like a cross between a seal and a Nitanim camper. Slowly, they walked to the back of the bunk, flashlights in hand. Oh my gosh, it's Tammy. She's on to us. This isn't Beit Bogrim. We're still in the meat bach looking for Nishnush. We find a big stack of frosted flakes and sprint out of the Chadar Ochel, only to see Avichai waiting for us. Thankfully, he has a microphone, and we all sang our favorite camp songs all night long while taking frosted flake breaks. Yamin, yamin, small yamin, yamin, yamin. I can't figure out which hand to eat those frosted flakes with. And ooh, no one's looking. I'm gonna grab some tea. That was the Bogrim prompt. The next
Here
one
we go.
Yes.
A Marcy story we don't often hear. One day, as Marcy was taking off her seaweed tefillin, she looked up to see that she had a minion of dolphins davening in front of her, speaking in Hebrew. One of them stood on its tail, wearing rainbow sunglasses, and said, "Marcy, we claim you as one of us, one of us." So Marcy jumped into the sea and offered her tefillin to the queen dolphin, who was thrilled to try it and said a Shechianu blessing before putting on the sacred phylacteries, the tefillin, for the first time. But the tefillin didn't fit. Improvising, Marcy decided that she needed to make a new set of tefillin. So she summoned the creatures of the deep to bring her new materials. Suddenly, Marcy switched from Hebrew to an ancient rabbinic dialect of dolphin. Marcy became so Jewish that she instantly grew a beard that fell to her feet and she suddenly started talking like a surfer dude. Yo, dude, let's head to the like Cowell's Beach. The waves are amazing. I hear totally rad. I can't wait to check them out.
Nice surfer dude, Rabbi Corey. Okay, Avram's prompt now.
All right. Why Solalim counselors are so tired. I just really don't understand how an entire bunch of campers can hide an entire session's worth of niche noosh in their rooms, Rachel said. Yossi quickly responded, well, when you sleep every night on the beach, there's extra room in the tzrifim for us to store what we snuck out of the chadar. However, it soon became clear that the Solalimers were hiding more than just niche noosh. They were stealing camp supplies. Wait. What is the rock wall doing in room 132? Rabbi Sarah inquired. Seriously, she asked, how do you even pull that off? I'm not even mad. That's amazing. But the Solalimers started ganging up and forcing their tzevet to climb the rock wall or feel their wrath. So they climbed up to the top. And what do you know? After they hit the buzzer, they found a whole staff of Tammy's best gluten-free niche noosh. Jackpot. The tzevet sat up on top of the rock wall all night and munched away.
All right, so that was our one-sentence story activity. Thank you to Avram, Rabbi Sarah, and Rabbi Corey. I hope you guys had good stories and hope you're reading them out. You read them out loud with your families, or you will do that. The next part of this Hargah, I'm going to be asking Rabbi Corey some questions about storytelling because we just did a storytelling activity. And then Rabbi Corey, so I'll ask some questions. How and why is storytelling powerful?
Well, if you couldn't tell from those stories, I think storytelling is powerful because it often reflects personal experience. And when one person shares their personal experience, it's something that other people can relate to, not because they had the same experience, though that's possible, but I think it's because someone's experience kind of sparks something in them that makes them feel like, oh yeah, I had a similar experience, or I want to have that experience too. And camp has that cool power of being able to say, yeah, I want to do that. Or that experience that I had is going to be something I want to tell other people about. Or it's a memory that I want to keep with me for all time. So it's very relational. It has this power to connect people, to create these cachers with people in really magical and profound ways.
Yeah, I agree. And why is storytelling different from just reading a list of facts?
I think that stories are really about what I have inside of my neshama, what I have inside of my soul. And it's a personal experience that no one can take away from me. And yep, I could say that we all went to the show or we all went to the concert, but the way that you experienced that particular moment is different for every person. You know, Danny, you're a musician, very talented musician. And I'm sure that the way that you feel when you play is different from the way that the people who play around you feel, or the way that your parents get to hear the music or get to kvel a little bit, to take pride in watching you. And so the fact that we can all see or experience the same thing in different ways, even though the experience in front of us is the same thing, makes it so powerful to connect with. And so, you know, facts, it's not as easy to connect. And I think the story is really about speaking to the kishkas, speaking to something that is really within each individual person.
Yeah, I agree. I think music is also really cool because it's like a story without any words. Because whenever I'm playing music at school or outside of school, I feel like it's basically like I'm talking to other people or just telling myself a story, relaxing and learning. And it's cool, like you said, how people have different interpretations for every piece of music, every story. So I think that's a good power of storytelling, even through music. How do you tell stories, or how do you go about telling stories when you give a Devar Torah?
I often think about a personal experience, something that's happened to me, or a story that's going to convey a certain kind of emotion. So if I'm talking about anger or about joy or about being afraid. I try to think of something that will help to illustrate the point rather than saying a person was scared or was happy. Tell a story about what that experience was like. Like if I wanted to, I could just say, I had a bar mitzvah student one time who gave a Devar Torah and it was really good. But it would be more powerful if I said, I had this bar mitzvah student one time who was getting ready for his bar mitzvah and he was preparing a Devar Torah. And then like a week before his bar mitzvah, he's like, you know what? I don't like this topic. It doesn't speak to me. I'm going to change. And I was like, really? You're going to change a week before your bar mitzvah? And he's like, yep, I'm going to do it. I can do it. I can pull it off, but I need to speak about something that's really powerful. And he did. At the last minute, he made the change and he did the hard work and he produced something not only that was beautiful, but something that spoke to him. Does that story resonate with you, Danny?
Honestly, that sounds like a really weird person right there. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't sound, yeah, it sounds like a weird person. Who is that?
But does it connect with you personally?
Personally, like to my own bar mitzvah?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
There
I think
you have
actually it might have been me now that I remember. Yeah.
But that
yeah.
story is one that you can tell other people, right? Because writing a Devar Torah is a little bit scary, but also being able to say that this is what I believe in, this is what I feel strongly about is also a powerful story to tell and following that feeling.
Right, telling a story about telling stories, maybe. And my last question is, what's the importance of storytelling nowadays in particular?
I think years after any given moment, people are not going to remember the facts. They're not going to remember, what they necessarily ate for breakfast that day, although they might after eating Frosted Flakes all night long. But I think that they will remember the experiences that they had wherever they were. And the way that they tell the story about that experience is what sticks with you. It doesn't matter if you get the details right, it's how you remember it and how you internalize it. And it's the stories that you're going to tell your friends and your family. It's the stories that you're going to tell, for years and generations to come. And really, that's what our tradition's all about. Judaism is really built on the Torah, which is a book of stories, of experiences that our ancestors had that we tell, and we tell it both in their context about how they experience things, but also what does that story mean to me today? And I think that the ability to tell and retell and interpret and reinterpret stories and make them our own is the power that exists in the Jewish storytelling experience.
Thank you, Rabbi Corey. I think that's probably our time.
Can I tell one story before we go?
If you really want.
Not.
If you really want, you can do it.
All right, it's a short story, but it's one of my favorites. And I've heard it attributed to different Hasidic masters like the Baal Shem Tov or maybe the Kutzker Rebbe, but I don't know that it matters exactly where it came from because it's a story that shows the power of story. And this is a story about a young kid who every day would kind of sneak off and disappear for several hours at a time. You might even know this story. And day after day, this would happen over and over and over again. And the parents were kind of worried. Where is this kid going? Why disappearing for so long every single day? So one day, the mom decided to follow the kid and followed the kid out into the woods, into the forest. And in finding the kid out in the forest, noticed that this little kid was just kind of sitting there, relaxing and taking in deep breaths and enjoying nature. And the parent said to the kid, "Why are you here?" And the kid said, "Well, I came to talk to God." And the mom said, "You came to talk to God all the way out here? Don't you know that God is everywhere? Why do you have to come all the way out here?" "Well, I know that God may be everywhere, but when I'm out in the woods, I'm a different person. And this is where I experience God." And I think that's actually the power of Machane Ramah, that some people can experience some pretty profound stuff when you go to Ramah. It has the power to transform the way that we connect with our friends and with our mentors and with nature in particular, especially at Ramah Galim, and also with God and Judaism. And just because, kids go to camp because they want to experience God doesn't mean that God isn't everywhere. It just means that we're different when we go to Ramah Galim. This is a taste of Ramah Galim, but I can't wait to go back next summer. And for those of you who've never been, come check it out. It might be the place where you realize that you're different too.
Thank you so much to Danny and to Rabbi Corey. Tonight was just a beautiful mix of humor, storytelling, and just a beautiful mentor relationship. It's wonderful to be here tonight with Avram, with Danny, with Rabbi Corey from PSC, and we appreciate our partners at USY for taking this Har Ga'ad journey with us to give us a little taste of that special place where we can all become our holy best selves. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow night. Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.